Hi all. This video is going to presenting about the function. It is a large program. Whenever you are going to writing the large program, that is going to be divided into a smaller pieces, or we can also divide it into the basic building blocks, which is called as a function. So actually, we are going to using the function in order to avoid the rewriting of the same logic or the code again and again in the same program. That is a main advantage of using this function. And also there is another main advantage. We can call the function any number of times in a program from any place in a program. Okay, so a larger program can be easily tracked when it is divided into the function. So because of using this function, the reusability, that is dividing a big task into the smaller pieces to achieve the functionality, and also it is to improve the understandability of a very large program. That is the main concept of using the user-defined function. Next, we have to go for the types of function. There are two types of functions are available. One is a library function, another one is a user-defined function. The library function is also called as a built-in function or predefined function. So whenever you are going to using the predefined function, on that time we have to declare the header file. Whenever you are going to using the user-defined function, it is to reduce the complexity of the big programs. For that purpose only we are going to using the user-defined function. That means the library function is nothing. The library function is nothing but these functions are already been compiled and it is been available in the C compilers. So only this function is called as a built-in function or pre-compiled, and it is very ready to use. For example, whenever you are going to using the printf or scanf, we have to include the library header file stdio.h. If you are going to using the power or square root methods, we have to include the math.h. If I am going to using the string concatenation or string length or string compact, we have to include string.h. So we should include the header files in our program as per our need. On the other hand, we can also define the function as per the user requirement at the time of writing the program. Because of this one, the three advantages that one is the code can be reused again and again by calling the user-defined function. Second one is the time is saved. Third one is the space which is being occupied in the computer is also saved. That is the main advantage of using the function. And next, whenever you are going to writing the user-defined function, we have to know the three aspects in the C program. That is, first one is your declaration, the function declaration. Second one is your function definition, and third one is your function call. So whenever you are going to declaring the function, on that time the syntax that we are going to using here is the return type and then followed by the function name with the argument and ended with a semicolon. And second one, we have to define the function. The defined function is being enclosed within your curly braces. That means we are going to writing the collection of statements that is also called as a body of the function to be executed by the C compiler. Third one is the function call. The function call is nothing but whenever you're in a program, we can call any number of times by specifying the name of the function with the arguments. If there is no argument, you just specify within a bracket. And another one thing, if the function is not returning any value, you just specify void. The void is nothing but it is used to define the function is not returning any value here. That is the main advantage of using this function, user-defined function. We have to remember that one. That is the three aspects whenever you are going to whenever you are going to creating the user-defined function. That is function declaration, function definition, and function call. So here the small example which has been defined here. Actually, the header file has been declared. First, we have to declare the function. That is here the name of the function is square with one argument as a float, and the returning type is float. This is the first one. The second one that we are going to writing the definition for the function. The definition of the function is being enclosed within a curly braces, which has been defined outside the main function. That is, we are going to declare the method called square. Within that square, we are being squared the calling function, calling value will be squared and stored into the P, and this will be returned back where it is being stored. And we are going to calling the function, that is the third one. We are going to calling that called method will be stored into the N and will be printed here. And then types of invoking the function. The types of invoking the function there are 4 types. One is here without argument and without return value. Whenever the function is not having the argument and the function is not returning any value. And without argument and with the return value. This function having no argument, but this function is going to returning as your integer data type. And the third one is a function with argument and without return value. That means the function is going to pass the value, but this function is not going to returning any value. So only we are going to specifying as a what. And last one is the function with argument and with return value. That means the function which have the arguments and also the return type is integer here as an example. We can see one by one here to understand. So here the first one is the function is without argument and without return value. See here, it has been declared as a void sum, that is no argument and no, and this function is not going to returning a value. The first one, what is going to happen means going to calculate the sum of 2 numbers will be printed here, and a function will be called. That is here defined function will be called. It has been declared with the 2 variables, and the user is going to input in the value for that function that is going to be inputted as 10 and 24, and that will be totaled and printing the value. The sum is 34. This is what the function without argument and without return value. The next we are going to seeing about the function without argument and with return value. See here, the function is not going to pass any argument, but the return value will be the integer. See here, one variable is been declared. So we start from the starting point of the program in your main function. So going to calculate the sum of 2 numbers. So here it is going to printing like that, and it is going to calling the defined function of the sum, and 2 variables has been declared within the functions, and we are going to input the value for the 2 numbers as 10 and 24, and it will be totaled and return as an integer where it is being called, and that value will be stored into the variable in the main function, and it will be print as 34. That is what I'm going to trying to tell about the without argument. The function is not going to pass any value, but it is going to returning the value. Remember that one, the function will return only one value. That can be any data type. That is not a problem. And the third one is that we are going to seeing about the function with argument and without return value. See here, the argument is the 2 arguments are there, but our function is not going to returning any value. So we had been specified with a void. So here 3 variables has been declared. For the of that 2 variables has been inputted as 10 and 20. These 10 and 20 will be passed to the function, and it will be printed as the sum is 34, and it will be returned back without returning any value. That's it. So it proves that the function with argument and without return value. And the fourth one that we are going to see about the function with argument and with return value. See here, argument having 2 arguments and the return value will be the integer. So we are going to input in the 2 values for A and B, that one day as 10 and 20. And these 10 and 20 will be passed to the defined function, and this value will be total and returned back as an integer where it is been called, and then that value will be stored into the result and will print the sum is 30. That only we are going to see. So the function is pass the value as well as the value after the operation which has been over. That is the collection of statements within a function will be execute and return back the value, and it is being printed in the main method. That's all about the 4 types of invoking the function. Then last one, how to call the function. Before we are going to doing this one, we have to know there are 2 types of calling the function. One is pass by value and pass by reference. Before going that, we have to know what is meant by the actual parameter and a formal parameter. Whenever I'm going to calling the function with some value, for example, the a will have a 10. Okay, this value will be passed to the some function. Okay, the function with the int k, like that. Okay, so the 10 will be passed to the k. And now what is going to happen, this a is called, whenever you are going to calling the function, that is what is called as the actual parameter. So when the from the function, when it is going to getting the function, that is what is called as a formal parameter. So here we are going to talking about pass by value and pass by reference. So remember that one, the pass by value is nothing but the actual parameter cannot be modified because of the formal parameter. Only the value in the, we can call the function by passing the value, but because of that, this actual parameter, that is the a, will not be modified. That is the main thing, because each and every actual parameter and a formal parameter will allocate your different memory spaces. But in the pass by reference, it is not like that. It is going, we are going to using the address operator as well as the pointer. So because of the actual parameter, because of the formal parameter, the actual parameter will be modified. So if you are going to modify the k value, the a value will be, a will also be modified. If I'm going to modify as k is equal to k plus 1. So actually the k value will be 10. Now what happened? The k is going to become 11. That will reflect, if it is being reflected on the actual parameter, then it is called as a pass by reference. So you have to remember that one, both the actual and formal parameter is going to using the same memory address, memory location. That is the main concept that we are going to seeing here. Okay, so the example which has been defined here with the 2 values, see here with the 2 arguments, and the function is here void. So here the value of the m is 22 and 44. So we are going to passing the value of the m to the a and n to the b. When I'm going to changing the, it is been swapped to the value of the a and b. Now what it is going to printing? It is going to printing like 44 and 22 only. But after return back from the function to the main function, it will not reflect to the value of the m and n. The m and n value remains same. That is the main thing about the pass by value. Next, with the finally we are coming to the point on the pass by reference. It is nothing but we are going to using the pointer. Okay, and the same program only, but here we are not going to passing the value. We are going to passing the address of m to the pointer a, the address of n to the pointer b, and if it is being swapped, that will be reflected on the m and n. Remember it. So the value of the m and n actually is 22 and 44, and when it is being swapped, that also now the m and n value also be 44 and 22 only. This is what is called as here pass by reference. So this will be completing of what is meant by the pointer, and what are the types of pointer, what are the types of invoking the function, how we have to write a user defined function, what are the methods of calling the function, that is pass by value and pass by reference. Okay, of this one we have been completed. Thank you all.